Take a good look at this photo. One of the most iconic snapshots of World War II. You've got Uncle Joe Stalin chilling like a Bond villain, FDR sitting there looking like he's about to croak, but still holding the team together, and old Bulldog Churchill puffing on his cigar like he's about to punch the guy with the funny mustache in the face personally. Real men, grit, guts, and enough testosterone to power a Buick. But then, you open Wikipedia, and what do you see on the list of winners? France! France, kid! And yet somehow, they made the winner's circle. What were they doing during the war? Spoiler alert, not storming beaches, that's for sure. More like enjoying a double scoop of vanilla while roller skating through occupied Paris. And why is the old white flag their unofficial national logo now? And what's Vietnam got to do with all this? Well, today, Grandpa's taking you on a deep dive into the frosty waters of the white flag meme iceberg. Strap in, Junior. We're going to find out how France keeps managing to lose, even when they technically win. Want to guess how long it took the Germans to stroll into Paris? 47 days. That's it. Even Poland, fighting alone, held out for nearly as long. France had the British helping out, plus a navy, an air force, and still folded faster than a lawn chair at a family BBQ. Now let me introduce you to the man, Charles de Gaulle, national hero of France, the face of the resistance. Sounds cool, right? Here's the twist. My guy dipped out of France on June 17th, 1940. While the army was still fighting, he snuck out with fake papers and spent the entire war in London. He was basically podcasting from exile before it was cool, broadcasting from London, calling on the French to rise up and fight back while the Nazis were parked on their front lawn. Just him, a microphone, and nobody really listening. Now, yes, the French resistance was real. But let me hit you with some math. At its height, the French resistance had about 20 to 26,000 people out of 40 million. That's like 0.05%. You've got more people in a Fortnite lobby. Compare that to Poland, 300,000 resistance fighters. Yugoslavia, up to 800,000. The USSR, millions. At this point, it wasn't a movement. It was a brand. You'd think Nazi-occupied Paris would look like a horror movie, but the photos? People roller skating, sipping espresso, fishing in the Seine, baguettes everywhere. Swastikas too, sure, but mostly brunch vibes. In 2008, they showed these photos in a Paris exhibit, and folks were pissed because wartime Paris looked too normal. Not like Warsaw or Leningrad, where people starved, hid in ruins, and said heartbreaking goodbyes to their little ones in the snow. Once the Allies rolled in, suddenly half the population was in the resistance. Like mushrooms after the rain, boom! Patriots everywhere. But reality check. Many of these heroes sat on their hands. Some even worked for the Nazis. Maurice Papon was complicit in some of the darkest chapters of the war, particularly those targeting Jewish families. Later became Minister of Finance. François Mitterrand got medals from the Nazi collab Vichy regime, still became president. Louis Delfino shot at the Allies, then switched sides and got celebrated. Selective memory, French edition. France needed someone to blame. The real collaborators, businessmen, journalists, factory owners, mostly kept their wealth and reputations. Instead, the anger fell on women who had relationships with German soldiers. Some did it for survival, some for love, some had no choice. France paraded them through the streets, shaved their heads, spat on them, called it justice. It was vengeance, cheap and easy. After the war, France hit Control plus Z on their memory. School books, films, media, all about bravery, honor, and baguettes. Films that challenged the myth, banned, or buried. Take the film Le Corbeau, a movie about French people anonymously ratting out their neighbors. Banned! Or the documentary The Sorrow and the Pity, full of interviews with real French collaborators. Took 10 years to get it on TV. And then there was Le Comme Lucien, a film about a teenager who collaborates with the occupying forces' secret police. This movie also faced attempts to be banned. France didn't want to face the mirror. Truth made people uncomfortable, so they just changed the channel. Unlike in Eastern Europe, where the occupiers implemented harsh measures and forced compliance, in France, they adopted a more refined approach. No widespread destruction, no intense repression, just wine, cafes, and German officers strolling about like visitors on vacation. In Nazi racial theory, the French were considered civilized, not part of the Aryan ideal, but still far from the inferior status assigned to Slavs and Jews. So the plan was simple: keep France calm, quiet, and productive. Polite tyranny with a croissant on the side. France, a country of fine wine, gourmet cheese, and high fashion, with a military track record shakier than your phone signal in a basement. They surrendered in 47 days. Their resistance was the size of a high school football stadium. They roller skated under Nazi flags, hid the archives. That white flag, it's not just a meme, kid. It's a whole dang iceberg of history, regret, and uncomfortable truths.